In the morning when I get out of bed, I claim a blessing. I claim a blessing. I claim a blessing. Before I even lift my head, I claim a blessing. I claim a blessing. I claim a blessing. This is how I start my day. Knowing good is on the way. I am claiming perfect health, love and laughter, friends and wealth. In the morning when I get out of bed, I claim a blessing. I claim a blessing. I claim a blessing. Before I even lift my head, I claim a blessing. I claim a blessing. I claim a blessing. With conviction undeterred, and the power of the spoken word, take my life and redefine. Break the shackles of my mind. In the morning when I get out of bed, I claim a blessing. I claim a blessing. I claim a blessing. Before I even lift my head, I claim a blessing. I claim a blessing. I claim a blessing. To higher ground, knowing miracles are all around. Each day unfolds just like it should when I'm focusing on my good. Life is filled with opportunity. I wonder what good is here for me. Yeah, I claim a blessing. I claim it. Ooh, I claim a blessing. I claim it. I believe it. Gonna receive it. Give it to me, give it to me, yeah, 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 yeah. I claim a blessing. I claim it. Ooh, I claim a blessing. I claim it. Hey, hey, I claim a blessing. I claim it. Ooh, I claim a blessing.
Hello and welcome to the Unity Center of New York City's live stream service. I'm Justin Epstein, the senior minister and author of the top-selling book, Super You. Welcome. Whether you're local here in New York City or from another city, state, or country, we're glad you're joining us for today's service. Now, we are going to take a moment now to sing. So if you'd like to stand up with me and sing Give Me Oil in My Lamp, led by Dennis Buck.
Now that it's getting dark so early in the afternoon, seems like the perfect time to get a little more oil in our lamps. So here we go. Give me oil in my lamp, keep me burning. Give me oil in my lamp, I pray. Give me oil in my lamp, keep me burning. Keep me burning through the break of day. Sing, I am the, sing, I am the, sing, I am the light of God in the world. Sing, I am the, sing, I am the, sing, I am the light of God. Give me joy in my heart, keep me laughing. Give me joy in my heart, I pray. Give me joy in my heart, keep me laughing. Keep me laughing through the break of day. Chorus, sing, I am the, sing, I am the, sing, I am the light of God in the world. Sing, I am the, sing, I am the, sing, I am the light of God. Give me love in my heart, keep me serving. Give me love in my heart, I pray. Give me love in my heart, keep me serving. Keep me be serving through the break of day. Sing, I am the, sing, I am the, sing, I am the light of God in the world. Sing, I am the, sing, I am the, sing, I am the light of God. Give me peace in my mind, keep me resting. Give me peace in my mind, I pray. Give me peace in my mind, keep me resting. Keep me resting through the break of day. Sing, I am the, sing, I am the, sing, I am the light of God in the world. Sing, I am the, sing, I am the, sing, I am the light of God. Let your love shine through me, keep me shining. Let your love shine through me, I pray. Let your love shine through me, keep me shining. Keep me shining through the break of day. Last time, sing, I am the, sing, I am the, sing, I am the light of God in the world. Sing, I am the, sing, I am the, sing, I am the light of God.
In 1985, I looked into a mirror and the light was gone. That started me on a journey to get that spark back. And over the next 20 years, I went on a search trying to figure out, what is life all about? Why am I here? What is the purpose? And how do I find that inner happiness again? And that led me on a journey of reading books on spirituality, reading the Bible, the Bhagavad Gita, attending lectures, starting yoga and meditation back in the days when that was some fringe kind of stuff. And over the years, I began to learn that there were spiritual principles, that I was a spiritual being living in a spiritual universe, and that there were principles that I could live by. And that as a spiritual being, I could find joy within myself, that I'm an expression of joy, and that God is expressing as me. And that changed my whole life. And here at the Unity Center, we like to share those principles and those ideas and practices with people to help them discover that divine spark that is also inside of them. I became a Unity minister eventually and ended up becoming Eric Butterworth's associate minister here the last 4 years of his life in ministry, and then coming back here in 2011 to be the senior minister. The Unity Center began in the early 1900s when a Unity minister named Georgiana Tree West came to New York City and started this center. And so we're happy that you can watch us participate in the live stream service and tell friends and others about us so that they also can discover that divine spark of joy that is inside of them. I'd like for us to take a moment now for our prosperity celebration. This is the time where we acknowledge that in a spiritual universe governed by spiritual law, one of those principles, one of those laws is the law of giving. That as we give, as Jesus the Christ said, as you give, you receive. As you give, you receive. That's an interesting statement. He said the kingdom is within you, and as we give, we're releasing more of that kingdom through our giving, and that giving goes out, multiplies, and returns to us in every area of our life. That's the amazing thing. It's not just financial. It's not just jobs and opportunities. It also, giving is an important part of every part of our life. In healing, in relationships, in harmony, in peace, in spiritual growth. So we acknowledge that during this time, our prosperity celebration, where we acknowledge God's abundance in our life and we participate in God's spiritual law and activity of giving. So I invite you to take your donation in your hand and let us bless these gifts, knowing that divine love flowing through me blesses and increases all that I give and all that I receive. Would you say that with me together prayerfully? Divine love flowing through me blesses and increases all that I give and all that I receive. And so it is. Amen. In a moment, we're going to do a guided meditation. And during a meditation, we're relaxing the body and we're turning our attention within. Basically, it's deep prayer. It's going beyond words and thoughts and connecting with that still point at the center of our being. When you connect with that still point, you open up to that infinite presence of God. And we like to lead into that meditation with a song, a kind of a meditative, quiet, repetitive song. So we invite you to join us now in singing Thankful, led by Claudia.
And now it's time for us to join in song. Let's amp up our gratitude. Thankful, thankful, thankful. Thankful is the way. What a joy to be alive on this beautiful, wonderful day. Blessings overflowing, goodness on display. What a joy to be alive on this beautiful, wonderful day. Thankful, thankful, thankful. Thankful is the way. What a joy to be alive on this beautiful, wonderful day. Blessings overflowing, goodness on display. What a joy to be alive on this beautiful, wonderful day. What a joy to be alive on this beautiful, wonderful day.
Let's take a moment now to sit upright where we're sitting, whether in a chair, on a couch. And let's just take a nice, long, cleansing, deep breath. Good. Let your body relax. Bring your awareness now to this present moment, letting go of the past, letting go of thoughts of the future. When you bring your attention to relaxing your body, you are totally in the present. So let's consciously relax and let go. Being aware of the feet and the calves, just send the message, relax, relax. Move your awareness up the body, relaxing the thighs, the abdomen, the stomach, letting your hands be open and relaxed, relaxing the forearms and the biceps and the shoulders, moving your awareness down the back and down your chest. Relax and let go. Be aware of your neck, relaxing the front, the back, the sides. Relax and let go. Relax the muscles in your face, your forehead, your eyes, your cheeks, your ears, your nose, your lips, your tongue. From the top of your head to the bottoms of your feet, letting go, letting go, letting go, letting go. Relaxing and letting go. Just know in this moment that right where you are, God is being all good, right where you are. Spirit is in all and through all and expressing as all, including you and me. God is being light, love, wisdom, power, substance, and all good. Let's focus on that quality today of love. Spirit is being love right where you are. You can identify with that love by just knowing God is expressing as love, as me. I am love. I am love. My true nature as a spiritual being. I'm not thinking about limiting behaviors. I'm not thinking about how I behaved earlier today or yesterday. My true nature, my true essence is love. Because I'm created in the image and after the likeness of God, who the scriptures tell us is love. And this is always the case. It never changes. The only thing that changes is when I get out of tune with it. But the reality of my nature is love. God's love expressing in and through me. I am love. I am love. When I use that word, those words, I am, I'm identifying myself with my spiritual nature, with God expressing as me. I am love. I invite you to hold that statement in your mind now. I am love. And wait and listen to experience whatever Spirit reveals within you. And when your mind begins to think and wander, just bring it back to the statement, I am love. And then wait again. Listen. I am love. Imagine that love fills your whole being and body with light. Whatever color light feels like love to you. And imagine that love, that light, is casting out, so to speak, all manner of darkness. That you're being healed in body, mind, and soul. We all carry emotions that are subconscious, buried on some level that we're not consciously aware of. Feel that this light, this love right now is healing you at depth. And if and when unpleasant, uncomfortable emotions surface, know that you are not your emotions, that you're not alone. God is with you to feel, experience those memories, those emotions, so that they can pass through you. Love is doing its mighty work in you right now. And let us extend that blessing to our friends and family and all loved ones, acknowledging that love is doing its perfect work in their mind, in their hearts, in their spirits, healing, renewing, energizing, uplifting, empowering. And we trust that no matter what experiences they might be going through right now, God is working in them. Just as the seed in the dark earth is growing at its own pace. We may not see the leaf yet, but we trust that the seed is growing, and we trust that Spirit is doing its mighty work in our loved ones right now. And we expand our awareness to include our planet Earth, the animals, all of life, all the plants and flowers and vegetation, everything, Earth itself, and every person. We acknowledge that every person is an expression of this one presence and power. God the good, omnipotent. And we feel thankful that this is so. We feel grateful that this is so, that underneath anything happening in the world, this is the reality, this is the truth, and it always is true. And that's how we can find stability and peace in a world of change. And let us bring our awareness now back to the body. Moving fingers, moving toes. And so it is. Amen. Do you ever get angry? No. We all get angry at times, don't we? Of course we do. I don't care how long we've been on the spiritual path. I know I do. And you could say, well, maybe you don't fly off the handle too often, but maybe you get annoyed or irritated. Anyway, you don't have to tell me. Question is, when you experience anger, how do you deal with it? What do you do with it? See, some people fly off the handle. They just feel like when they're angry, they're just going to let it hang out. They're just going to vent it. See, that's one thing people believe, that, well, I'm not going to bottle up, I'm just going to vent it. And studies have shown that's not a good way to deal with it, because when you vent anger, when you really express it, and it tends to become a habit. It actually isn't that good for us. Tend to develop a hostile kind of habit. Not to mention that since life is consciousness, that expressing anger every time we feel it, I mean, it can damage relationships, it can inhibit our finances, it can, obviously, carrying around anger and expressing it affects our health. It can raise blood pressure and create all kinds of difficulties for us. Well, that's one way people do it. And sometimes they justify it, saying, well, didn't Jesus get angry? Didn't he go into the temple and chase the money changers out of the temple with a whip? You know, sometimes there's a time for righteous anger. Well, not if you believe in consciousness. Not if you believe that life is consciousness. I have to admit, sometimes there is a time maybe where we need to show a little bit of anger. And I believe that that's one interpretation of what Jesus was doing. Personally, I don't believe Jesus was really angry. I feel like he was too far evolved to really reach such an angry point like that. That's my interpretation. But I think that he had to sort of pretend in order to make a point to those folks. They couldn't just hear, now guys, you know, it's really not good to be money changing in the temple and so on and so. No, he had at that time in that place, he needed to make a bigger stand. So I'm reminded of the Indian sage Yogananda, who was talking to one of his students, and he was angrily talking to a student. A student, say, was standing over here, and another student was standing over here. And he would be talking, you know, sort of angrily and sternly, and then he'd turn around, and then when he was walking toward the other student, he would wink. So he was really totally calm while he was talking to the student. Now, another interpretation is that Jesus just slipped. Now, that can be very comforting to know that this man, Jesus, with all this spiritual evolution, he just slipped. He got angry. He slipped. So the point is, there's a few ways people tend to deal with problems. One is to vent and express anger and blame and judge. And the other is to repress. And I suspect a lot of spiritual folks repress, thinking that, you know, as a child of God, they shouldn't be angry, and, you know, that's not the way to be. They should on themselves, as Wayne Dyer used to say. And so they seethe inside themselves. And that's not good emotionally, that's not good physically. So a third way is the Jesus Christ way, which is, he said, turn the other cheek. Now, some people have said that's just impractical, turn the other cheek, because they think it means that you're supposed to be a doormat. Now, that's impractical in this world. Well, Jesus wasn't saying be a doormat. He wasn't saying let people walk all over you. He spoke in metaphors. He was a master of metaphors. And it was a metaphor for turning from that humanness that wants to lash out, that wants to blame, that wants to vent, or that humanness that wants to repress and seethe inside, and turn to a higher level of dealing with people, dealing with anger, turning to a higher way inside of us. And so what I want to share with you today is 4 steps to defusing anger. Now, there's a lot of different ways we could go about anger. I mean, you could go exercise, go for a walk, distract yourself, do something that brings you pleasure, joy, take some deep breaths. All those things are great. And if you've been on the spiritual journey, spiritual path, you might hear, go meditate. Go meditate and get in tune with the flow of love and let the love replace the anger. That's all good. That's great stuff. And it's helpful stuff. But one thing that I've encountered in my life is that sometimes it requires more than that. Because you can go meditate and get in tune with peace and love and all that, which is wonderful. But then if you're in a relationship with people at work, at home, with friends, what if they keep doing the same stuff? Are you going to just get angry and go meditate again? Go for a walk? You want to see some things change, don't you? At least. So what I'm going to share with you today is something that I've been studying and practicing for a long time. By no means am I perfect at it, and by no means do I always do it. But I remember 20 years ago, I was involved in a challenging situation. And I found myself feeling angry. And I felt like I was dealing with some difficult people. And I didn't know what to do. I was trying to live a spiritual life, trying to be spiritual. And yet, my buttons kept getting pushed. And I began to study, how do I deal with my anger that's coming up? How do I deal with these difficult people? And that's what I want to share with you today. 4 steps for diffusing the anger, so that not only do you deal with your own anger and diffuse it, but it transforms, and you are able to communicate with the peoples, if you choose to, so that the situation can be different. This is some very powerful stuff that I'm going to warn you. It's simple, but it's not easy. It's not easy. It takes courage. It takes a level of maturity to turn within and connect with that energy inside of us. So the first step is learn to separate a trigger from the cause of anger. What do you mean, Justin? Separate the trigger from the cause of anger. I can tell you the cause of the anger. He's the cause of the anger. That's what. He made me angry. He makes me angry. Now, the wise person knows, who studies consciousness, knows that no one can make you angry. No one can. They can't make us angry. But hang in there. Stay with me. What people can do is they can trigger. A trigger or a stimulus, to use a more scientific term, a trigger or a stimulus of something someone does or doesn't do, or an event that happens, or what people do, that can trigger, that's a trigger. The cause of our anger isn't what they do or don't do. The cause of our anger is our thoughts about what they do or don't do. The cause of our anger is our interpretation of what they do or don't do. You see the difference? It's a critical difference. Critical. No one can make us angry. No one can take anger and stick it down. Ow, that hurt. That hurt. I was getting angry at myself there. No one can stick anger into our soul. No. It's our thoughts. It's our interpretation about what people do. And it's specifically certain kinds of thoughts that cause us to feel angry. So step one is basically accepting your responsibility. We don't want to be slaves to the outer world, to every time someone says or does or doesn't do, we get angry and it's their fault. Now we're a victim. You can't do anything about it. No. As the poet Walt Whitman said, we want to be conquerors. We want to be conquerors. And so the first way to do that is to accept and know, understand the difference between the trigger, the stimulus, and the cause of anger. The cause is our own thinking. So step number two is to identify judgmental thoughts that we say to ourselves about the other person or people or situations. You see, it's the judgmental thoughts that cause the anger. That's what causes our anger. It's not what people do. It's our judgmental thoughts. Now, here's the thing. Here's the thing that Marshall Rosenberg, the author of Nonviolent Communication, which I began to study 20 years ago and to practice, and attended a workshop with him a number of years ago. He won the prestigious Light of God Expressing Unity Award a number of years ago for his work. Really powerful. He's brought these ideas to people around the world, to war-torn areas, to people who like in Rwanda and Ireland and Israel and Palestine, all over with gangs. And it's very important to understand that anger is kind of an aversion to what's really going on inside of us. You see, judgmental thoughts happen when we go into our heads and we start to think judgmental thoughts. That's when anger gets created. Let me give you an example, a simple little example. Little Johnny leaves his clothes again on the living room floor. All right? And Mom says to little Johnny, you know, pick your clothes up. Mom gets angry at little Johnny. What's causing her to feel angry? Is it because little Johnny left his clothes on the living room floor again? Yes. No, it isn't. No, it isn't. It's Mommy's thoughts about little Johnny leaving his clothes on the floor again. And what kinds of thoughts did I say would cause Mommy to feel angry? Thoughts like, he never listens. Thoughts like, this kid is stubborn. Thoughts like, little Johnny is self-centered. You know, little Johnny is trouble, or whatever. Judgmental thoughts is what causes Mommy to get angry at little Johnny. And there's another way to go about it. So that's just a simple example. So I want you to think about a situation where you recently or in the past became angry. Something happened. Somebody said something, somebody did something, That's the trigger, that's the stimulus. And then you started having thoughts about it. You can ask yourself this question: what thoughts am I having about this person that is causing my anger? See? What thoughts did you have that caused you to feel angry? The other day I was in the gym, and our gym is you have to schedule the appointments in the gym now so they can make sure that there's only a limited number of people in the gym. And you got to wear a mask in the gym. There's social distancing. Well, I was on a machine the other day, a leg lift machine, and there was this woman over here who started doing lunges across the room right past me with her mask not covering her nose. Now, outside, that doesn't bother me, but inside in a gym, I felt uncomfortable. So I went over to her and I said, excuse me, miss. First, she totally didn't respond. So I said again, excuse me, miss. I'm uncomfortable with you not having your nose covered. And she glanced at me and went, uh-huh, and then kept doing her thing. All right? So I had a judgmental thought in my head about that behavior. Okay? I felt annoyed. And I went back to doing my exercise, and she kept doing her thing with her mask down. So when you're feeling angry, ask yourself the question. Tell yourself, I'm feeling angry because I'm telling myself, and fill in the blank. I'm telling myself, he's a jerk. I'm telling myself, whatever you're telling yourself, you can fill in the blank, all right? And then step 3 for diffusing anger is to identify the need underneath the judgment. This is critical. This is important. We live in a culture where people are I believe, they're out of touch with their needs. They're out of touch with their feelings. Maybe it's a culture where, I don't know, we've been raised to think that it's weak to have needs, even though everybody has them. And a lot of women have been raised to think about other people's needs and not their own needs. So because we're out of touch with our feelings a lot of times and our needs, we go into our heads and judge. So what I'm saying now is go underneath the judgment and find out what is the need that's not being met in this situation. I hope that makes sense. And what will happen is this: your anger will be transformed into a different feeling. You'll diffuse the anger, because anger is an aversion from what's really happening inside of you. Emotions are designed to help us meet needs. Emotion, getting in motion to meet a need. When you're hungry, you've got an emotion that's driving you to want to eat, right? And whatever emotions we have is a result of some need that's not being met. And instead of going to the need, we go into our heads and judge and blame and get into resistance, and now we're totally out of touch with our needs, which probably won't get met. So what I'm saying is, look underneath the judgment and find the need that's there. So in the gym, and this is just a simple little thing that just happened to me the other day, I asked this woman, I told her I'm feeling uncomfortable with your mask being below your nose. I didn't really get to say much else because she just basically ignored me and kept doing her thing. So what was the need? Why did I judge her? What was the need underneath the judgment? Well, it was the need to be safe and the need to have other people in the gym be safe. It was the need to be heard as a human being. I was saying something to her. It was the need to be respected as a human being who had something to say. And she didn't. So that was the need that wasn't being met. And underneath that need was probably a sense of sadness that she's not acknowledging me as even a human being. She doesn't seem to even care, right? That's kind of sad. And that's what we're saying. When you acknowledge and understand the need underneath the judgment, then the anger transforms into a different emotion. You know, and the emotion could be sadness, it could be fear, it could be discouragement, disappointment, it could be some other feeling other than anger. So when little Johnny left his clothes on the floor again, Mom was angry because she was judging little Johnny as being a little brat, you know, hard-headed little kid, little brat, whatever she's thinking. But her need was to have this place in order. You know, she wanted to have an orderly household, not only for herself, but for him too. So what's the need? And that person that you got angry with recently, what was the need that wasn't being met? And how did that make you feel? How did that make you feel? When you get in touch with the need, then you get in touch with other kinds of feelings other than anger. See? And then, fourth step to diffusing anger is once you have separated the trigger, the stimulus from the cause of anger, and you've identified the kinds of thoughts that you're having that are causing the anger, then you look underneath the judgments and you find the needs that aren't being met. Now you're in a position to where you can communicate effectively with the other person. That's the fourth step, communicating effectively. Now, I bet a lot of spiritual things that I've heard anyway, I've read, they kind of don't make it to the communication a lot of times. It's go meditate, take some deep breaths. But how is that going to change the situation? Now, here's where I think you have a choice. I mean, we're not going to go through this process. By the way, these steps can happen very quickly once you start to practice. And it takes practice. Believe me, it really takes looking inside yourself. It's a spiritual practice because we're used to going into our head and judging and blaming. We're used to being disconnected from our feelings and our needs. And so now we're saying, go in and develop the language of feelings, develop the language of needs. Look inside and go, gee, what am I needing? What is it that I'm feeling right now because of this situation? That takes introspection. That takes awareness. That's a spiritual practice. So then, fourth step, if you should choose to, and I'm not saying do this with every situation. I didn't bother with that lady after that. I just let it go. I came back to my exercise, and I went about my business, and I did say to myself, if I see her doing that again in the future, I'm going to tell the gym people and let them handle it. I'm not going to even bother with it. It's not my job anyway. So that's how I handled it. But if you're in a relationship with someone regularly, or maybe at work, or you're in a relationship with a personal relationship with a friend or someone else, then you may want to go to the communication part of this. And it's not, it takes practice. When I first started learning this 20 years ago, I remember talking to a person who was involved in this chaos, and the person basically called it psychobabble, because I was just learning how to get in touch and how to communicate. Well, you could see that was a difficult person to deal with, right? That really helped a lot. Thanks a lot, psychobabble. So what you do in the communication is you and this could do a whole workshop on this whole process. Do a whole day or weekend workshop on this, and there are workshops. Look at some of Marshall Rosenberg's books and stuff. You can find if you want to go deeper. But essentially what you want to do is you want to describe the situation that happened and share how you are feeling about it and what's the need that's not being met with that person. And then you make a request. You ask them, would you please, little Johnny, please pick up your clothes and put them back in your house. When you leave your clothes on the living room floor, then I feel sad because I want order in the house. Would you please pick up your clothes and put them in your bedroom? And then, of course, someone, I'm sure, they're like, well, what if he says no? Well, then you go deeper. That's a whole nother process. You explore that. So you don't want to pick up your clothes? No. Why? Because, you explore it. So that's essentially the 4 steps for diffusing anger. And it's not just go meditate, go somewhere and walk. It's actually something that can change behavior, because people they can't read our minds. They don't know what's going on inside of us. And a lot of times people aren't aware of their own behaviors. So when we communicate, it's good for all of us. We're not repressing it. We're not just getting angry and venting it. And they're not going about oblivious to their own behavior. We're communicating. And they might, if they're at all sensitive or care about us or you, then they're going to try to listen. And it's going to make an impact. And they go, oh, okay, I wasn't even aware that I said that, or I didn't mean it that way. You get into a dialogue, communication. So I want to share a real life situation where Dr. Rosenberg was talking to a prisoner in a Swiss prison. His name was Heidi. And Heidi was angry with the prison authorities about something. So Marshall Rosenberg, says, Heidi, tell me, what's the cause of your anger? And Heidi says, I wrote the prison authorities 3 weeks ago, and they haven't gotten back to me. And Marshall says, but Heidi, that's not the cause of your anger. That's the trigger. I want to know what the cause of your anger is. I just told you. I wrote them 3 weeks ago, and they never got back to me. No, Heidi. Again, that's the cause of your anger is the thoughts that you're having about the fact that they didn't get back to you. What are those thoughts? Oh, I see. Okay. Well, my thoughts are they think they're important and I don't matter. That's what my thoughts are. My thoughts are they just don't care. They're just a bunch of bureaucrats. They think I'm nothing. And, it's an unfair system. It's just unfair. And they don't care. Okay. There you go. Those are your thoughts. That's what's causing your anger. So tell me, Heidi, what's the need underneath those thoughts that's not being met? Well, I want them to get back to me because I need training to be able to get a job. When I get out of prison, I want to be able to get a job so I don't end up back in prison again. And that's what I need. Okay, Heidi. Now, there you go. That's the need. Now, how do you feel now that you're looking at that need? Well, I feel scared. I feel scared because if I don't get that training, I'm going to end up right back here. And I don't want that to happen. So you see right there, Heidi was angry because he was judging the administration and the authorities. But when he got in touch with his need, the anger was transformed into fear. That was the real feeling. His need was training, and his feeling was fear. So Marshall says, okay, Heidi, so can you see how communicating that you're afraid that if you don't get that training, then you're going to, end up back in prison? Can you see how communicating that would have a bigger impact than going into a meeting with them with judgmental thoughts and with anger? Can you see how judgmental thoughts and anger could possibly create resistance in them? Whereas communicating your real needs, that can connect with them. So let me hear how you would communicate with them putting together those steps, how would you say this to the authorities? So let me just read for you how he says it here. Well, instead of playing with a bunch of paper, I'll just tell you in my own words. So Heidi says, essentially what we've just said. He said, you know, I wanted you to get back to me because I'm concerned about getting my training so that when I leave here, I can get a job. I'm scared about not having that training and not being able to get a job and not end up back here again. Would you please tell me how come you haven't gotten back to me? See, so he communicated the stimulus, the trigger, he communicated his need, his feelings, and he made a request. Could you tell me what's preventing you from getting back to me about this? And that's it in a nutshell. Well, at that point, Heidi began to look down at the floor. And Marshall said, what's going on, Heidi? And Heidi said, give me a moment, I'll tell you later. So later on, Heidi told Marshall, he said, Marshall, I wish you had taught me this 2 years ago because I wouldn't have had to kill my best friend. 2 years ago, his best friend had done something, and Heidi thought he was the cause of his anger. His best friend was the cause of his rage, and he killed his best friend because he didn't understand that people don't cause our anger. Situations don't cause our anger. They're triggers. They're stimulus. What causes our anger is our thoughts. Instead of acknowledging our needs and our feelings, we go into the head and judge. And that prevents us, that creates resistance. It pushes away our needs from getting met. He learned now that he could go beneath the anger, beneath the judgment. He could diffuse the anger, get in touch with his needs, get in touch with his feelings, and communicate it effectively. Now, all this can be done very quickly. You can go through all the steps pretty quickly once you begin to practice this. You don't have to communicate it, it's up to you. But going through the first 3 steps can help you diffuse the anger, can help you understand yourself better, and help you to plan how you might communicate it now or next time, should the situation arise again. So we don't have to be victims of the outer world. We don't have to live in a world of belligerence and polarity and fighting. We can learn how to, as Jesus said, turn the other cheek. Turn from this very human belligerence and resistance and polarities and turn to your higher nature. Turn within. You got it in you to go within, go beneath the anger, learn more about yourself, get connected with that spiritual energy inside of you, get connected with the needs, with the feelings. That's where your juice is. If you're disconnected with your feelings, you're blocking your energy. You're blocking the juice, the aliveness that's inside of you. Jesus said, I've come that you may have life and have it more abundantly. But if you're in your head, that's not life. That's just anger. You're dissipating energy. We dissipate energy. We hurt ourselves physically, emotionally. No, get connected with what's going on inside of you and then learn to communicate it effectively. I like this wonderful, here I go back to the paper again. Let's see if I can find it this time. I love this wonderful quote from Proverbs, chapter 16, verse 32. He who is slow to anger is better than the mighty, and he who rules his spirit than he who takes a city.
I was born to live life fully, to let go of regret, to walk the highway of life without a safety net, to follow something even bigger than my pride, to show up with courage even when I'm trembling inside. And I will not worry about what others think of me. And I will not be shackled by the chains of conformity. I'll break the mold set in the past, keep pushing till I'm free at last. I'll follow the path of my heart and make my life a work of art. You can call me fearless. I am fearless. I'll follow the road to adventure everywhere. I let the top down and let the wind tangle up my hair. Hitch my dreams unto the brightest star. On the trapeze of life, I throw my heart right over the bar. On the other side of fear, there lies euphoria and a better understanding of who you really are. I'll break the mold set in the past, keep pushing till I'm free at last. I'll follow the path of my heart and make my life a work of art. You can call me fearless. I am fearless. I am fearless. I'll push outside the comfort zone, remembering I'm not alone. I'll follow the path of my heart and make my life a work of art. You can call me fearless. I am fearless. I am fearless. Will you affirm that with me? I am fearless. I am fearless. I am fearless. I am fearless. I am fearless.
I see you going forth today and this week fearless, knowing that there's nothing that can come up inside of you that you can't handle, anger included. You have the power within you, the power of God guiding and directing you, the power of God to take charge of how you think, what you focus upon, how you react and respond to life. You have that ability. It's inside of you. And so let's go forward this week, letting our light shine, doing the best we can. We're going to fail. We're going to make mistakes. That's all right. Dust yourself off, get back up, and keep on going. Thank you, Father, Mother, God, for your guidance, for your love, for your presence. And so it is. Amen. I want to thank our musicians today. Weren't they awesome? Claudia Carawan, thank you so much for your beautiful songs. And Dennis Buck, great to have Dennis Buck on, our principal accompanist when we're gathering live at Unity Center on 58th and 7th. We'll let you know when that time comes. And also thanks to Stephen LaHue, our music coordinator, helping to bring in these wonderful singers for us, and Justin Morley on the camera here, and Debbie Mullinax, our operations manager. And thanks also to Lucid Studios and Perpetual Wave Productions for their help behind the scenes here. Let's join together in saying the prayer for protection. The light of God surrounds us. The love of God enfolds us. The power of God protects us. The presence of God watches over us. Wherever we are, God is, and all is well. Amen. Yea, God. Thanks for being with us today, and we hope to see you again for our next live stream service. And let's join together now in singing the peace song. Dennis Buck will lead us. See you next time.
Let there be peace on earth, and let it begin with me. Let there be peace on earth, the peace that was meant to be. With God as creator, family all are we. Let us walk with each other in perfect harmony. Let peace begin with me. Let this be the moment now. With every step I take, let this be my joyous vow.